Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Dirtified. As you can see, we had a very nice introduction recorded for this video, but we had some technical difficulties with the microphones. We're now having to do a voiceover of this introduction. We're gonna get started on all the tasks that we need to tackle before we can start doing the 3-link build on Consuela. We have everything ready for her, but we got to do a couple things here and there in order to make space and make way for it to happen. We're going to show you all of the stuff that we bought, what the plan is, and everything else. So stay tuned. Here it comes.
Hey guys, so we just brought down the dual transfer case that we will be using on Consuela.
I've already installed a few parts in it. I've already done a few things, but I'm just gonna set the phone here in the tripod real quick so I can explain this. This is a setup for Consuela. These are gonna be the dual cases that we're running. I'm gonna do a quick rundown of what you're seeing right here. This is a Toyota RF1A transfer case, very common in the 80s and the 90s. Toyota pickups, Toyota trucks, Toyota 4runners, everything. Very, very common transfer case used in all Toyota transmissions. So what we're doing is we're adding a second transfer case, right? Or just the front of the case, which is what actually generates a reduction. As you can see right here, we have the two outputs for the front drive shaft and the rear drive shaft. This output right here is the one that goes to the transmission. So we added the plate that allows us to mount the second transfer case. So imagine this same output right here, over here in the front is what you had here before we added the plate that allows us to mount a second reduction. Right here on top is the shift knob for the first case, and then we went ahead and bought the triple stick setup. I just put it in. It's not set yet, but I just put it in to fit it and see if it works right. As you can see, both of the outer shifters move the 4-wheel drive and the first gear reduction on the first transfer case, and then the second one is the middle one, which is going to move the reduction for the second transfer case. That's your dual setup. Obviously, this goes through the firewall into the car. Everything else is mounted to the cross member, which is the one that we're going to be replacing. Right here, as you can see, is where the original mounts are, and for the cross member, this goes into the chassis. What we're doing is we're deleting that so that we can go ahead and use that space for the mounts of the 3-link setup. Right? Let me show you guys underneath the car so you can see what's going on down there. So what's going on and why are we starting with the transfer cases before we go into the 3-link up front? You see these mounts right here? These 8 mounting holes is where the original cross member goes that holds the tranny and the transfer case that goes right here in this space into the car, right? This is the exact one that we're gonna be using for the 2 lower arms on the 3-link. So one's gonna come out of here, one's gonna come out of here, and both of the links are gonna go straight into the front differential. So we need this space. We cannot use the original transfer case mount.
That's what we're using, the front range of road relocation kit.
It's just one big plate right here, welded onto the chassis here and here, and it holds the transfer case from the back mount of the transfer case rather than here. So we can free this space for the 3-link up front.
So taking a look inside of the cab, this is where the factory shifter goes. So we're gonna test out if the triple stick setup will fit through here. I highly doubt it. We're gonna have to make some cuts, and I know the right guy for that.
We went ahead and removed the shifters in order to test fit the transfer case and make sure there was enough clearance with the transmission tunnel. We made a couple measurements, and after that we realized that we needed a couple inches for it to fit, so we went on and cut it.
Okay, so Jose has now finished cutting the tunnel so that we can fit the triple stick setup. We still have to cut this in order to get it to the middle to work right. Now what we got to do is measure around and play a bit with the gears so that we make sure that the sticks don't hit each other like that. We're gonna have to cut this one down here and center it, because if you see it, it'll hit on this one once we move them back and forth.
So here is where we ran into a problem. We were trying to make some space in order to tack weld the brackets into the chassis, but surprise, surprise, here we can see the torsion bar brackets. Since this truck used to be an IFS before we had it, someone solid axle swapped it and didn't remove the torsion bar brackets from the chassis. We're gonna have to clear some space in order for that to fit. So we're gonna be doing that in the next video. Stay tuned, guys.